Take a look at the latest business headlines. And to help with that, we're going to bring in our Monday Money Men business and markets analyst and Newsmax contributor Seth Denson, as well as accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning. Let's get to those markets. So they finished the week down this morning. Futures are up ahead of the opening bell. Okay, so Nikola stock taking a big hit on Friday, falling more than 26% after the company announced their second quarter report, as well as that their CEO will be stepping down after only 18 months on the job. Seth, to you first. I mean, this is the company's fourth CEO in just 4 years. What is going on?
Well, it's just bad business. I mean, since this company was founded and launched in 2015, their original CEO actually was indicted and arrested and convicted of fraud. This is a stock that at one time was over $65 a share. Today it's $2.50. They're losing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. They've got fires going on and fraud. Anyway, if you're an investor in this, sorry. If you haven't, don't. Good
advice there, Seth. Wells Fargo was in some hot water this weekend after many customers actually reported missing deposits from their bank accounts. Well, they were able to resolve the issues pretty quickly. I mean, many unhappy customers are now actually threatening to completely switch banks. Dan, tell us more about what happened.
Well, what could be more disconcerting about not seeing your deposits hitting your bank account? So they blamed this on a technical glitch and said it only affected a limited amount of customers. However, we have to look at what Wells Fargo's history is. Back in December, it cost them $2 billion related to mismanagement. And on top of that, they had a $1.7 billion fine. And you may also remember back in 2016, they had all kinds of problems with fake accounts, which resulted in a settlement with the SEC in 2020 of $3 billion. So a lot of things to be concerned about here.
Definitely, especially when you list all of that. That's not sounding too good for Wells Fargo. Well, an interesting new business strategy being announced by British Airways. So an attempt to limit food waste. The company will now no longer stock planes with enough food for every passenger. Seth, what kind of idea is this?
Well, time will tell, Alex. I mean, it is true that a lot of this food gets thrown away. Why? Because it's garbage anyway. But nonetheless, on average, airlines spend somewhere between $3 and $7. And the reason that spread is there is because we're factoring in Spirit, who spends 26 cents on their passengers' food. That's an actual number, by the way. But nonetheless, listen, British Airways, no stranger to trying to cut costs. Recently, they just brought back free coffee and tea. And so we'll see if this one pays off for them in the long run. I don't think it will with passengers, especially if they don't have food. But one quick thing, if you are taking a flight, you can go on and you can pre-order food and you'll make sure you get some.
Well, there you go. So I guess if you're going to be using them, you better just go ahead and just pre-order the food.
That's right.
Elon Musk, continuing to fight for free speech, the X.com CEO, is now announcing he will pay the legal fees for anyone who has faced employer discrimination due to posting or liking something on the Twitter X platform. Dan, what do you make of this new move by Elon?
Well, Elon is certainly a fierce protector of the First Amendment. And what he's doing here is he is leveling the legal playing field between employees and employers. That is huge. I mean, talk about empowering an employee if they believe that their First Amendment was violated by something that they posted on X. Yeah. So I think employers are going to have to think twice. If Elon Musk is putting no limits on how much he will spend for legal costs to protect these employees, I think it's a tremendous marketing play. Yeah. I don't expect a lot of employers to take on Elon Musk's money.
No, definitely not. Well, something that made a lot of money, Barbie, continuing to make history and, of course, a lot of money. The film has crossed over $1 billion earning mark, making director Greta Gerwig the first female director to have a $1 billion movie. Seth, what do you think has led to Barbie's success in theaters?
Well, Barbie is iconic, right? I mean, I think that it certainly had a lot of attention there. It's got some great cast and Margot Robbie and some others. And I think that, candidly, there's just not a lot of great movies out there. People are pent up. It's summertime. They want to go. And people think that this is a good family movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. But nonetheless, when there's not a lot of movies, not a lot of competition, a lot of pent-up demand on something that's very popular, Good things happen.
They're going to flock to go see Barbie. What about this one? So Cher's former Miami mansion hitting the market, but you'll have to pay quite a pretty penny to live there. So Cher, she originally bought the house for $1.5 million before selling it 4 years later for just $3.5 million. Today, the house is hitting the market for, get this, $42.5 million. Dan, what a jump in price.
Wow, that's really tremendous, and I don't know if the value there is because it was Cher's former home. I haven't seen Seth's house, but I imagine they're probably equivalent. So it's a lot of money.
You know, Alex, they may bring you breakfast to bed here, but here's the reality of this. This is on Lagos Island, which has only 30 homes waterfront right in the Biscayne Bay. It is absolutely stunning. I've gone by on a boat. I've never actually gone there because, candidly, I don't have Dan's Rolodex for money, so they won't let me in.
Well, according to Dan, Seth, your house is worth $42 million, so just let him think
I'd love
that.
it. If anybody's willing to pay it, they can have it.
There you go. Seth Denson, Dan Geltrude, thank you both for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. All right, up next, former